Here it is. Drama. White House Correspondents Dinner. Fun reacts. TikTok time. Walking Dead final season. Get it now. Would you ever play pickleball? No, my trainers are always... So we used to play basketball, me and my trainers, all the time. And they're pretty good. But like, obviously basketball is really bad for injuries. Basketball, especially on an outdoor court, is like really dangerous in general. It's kind of funny that like, I mean, I do it all the time, but it is actually really, really, really bad. And they always want to play like pickleball or some shit. And I'm just like, dude, I don't want to play pickleball. Like, I'm always trying to get them to play pickleball with Will. Hold on. When Mother's Day rolls around, pay attention to the commercials. Just the parents in those commercials look like my friends. Do people call you big guy a lot? No. Young Neff, I show speed, taking one for the team.
Oi, God damn. Shit, how old are you?
I'm 18. How old are you? I'm from Israel. Hey, don't worry like that. Are you okay?
Free Palestine!
That's so dumb. That is so fucking stupid, dude. I mean, hey, respect. I think, and this is not even a fucking joke, I show speed being pro-Palestinian only because Cristiano Ronaldo is pro-Palestinian, I guess. And like he thinks it's a meme or something. Has legitimately, I think him being pro-Palestine has legitimately like also played a role, a noticeable role in the youth taking that position. It's not even a joke. No, he doesn't. He's actually friends with a lot of Arabs, so they taught him. No, I'm just saying like regardless of what his motivations are, it honestly does not matter. Him just consistently saying free Palestine over and over and over again for like the past couple of years, has probably changed the dynamic of the younger generation as aggro as like TikTok. It's not even a joke because these are kids. They don't fucking know anything. So like for them, they hear their favorite content creator say it, and then they also say it as well, which is awesome. He also likes turkey. Great. He a little quirked up, but he got the right idea. Listen, bro, you get...
Okay.
I'll take the allies from any avenue I can. Who has more sway over pro-Palestine movement? You or Speed? I would never say I have more sway over the pro-Palestine movement than... I would never say that I have more sway over the pro-Palestine movement than Speed, bro. Are you kidding me? I blasted off, chat. What are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about?
Why does everybody keep saying free Israel? I thought it was free Palestine. Yeah.
Well, you know, Speed, I'm Jewish, so I'm from Israel.
Really?
Well, my descent is Israel. I'm Jewish.
Free Palestine, Aiden!
Speed, we're not going to go into that political debate, but relax.
What do you mean, relax? Wait, so you're from... Wait, so wait, you're from... So you don't even look from Israel, though.
I'm Jewish.
Jewish people is not from Israel, right?
Yes, we are.
Really? Is that true, y'all?
Bro, isn't this an insane conversation to have in front of 86,153 10-year-olds? Like, this is a conversation that is happening between two of the thought leaders of the 9-year-olds, okay? It's just like insane to me that is what happens.
Yes, I'm Jewish. I'm from do you know what birthright is or no?
A birthright? What is that? No.
Birthright is when a Jewish person has a free trip to go to Israel. They pay for all your hotels, food, all that stuff. It's just part of the Jewish descent.
Did he even do birthright? Dude, Felix finding out that Aiden Ross is Jewish was so funny. He's just like has not let that go. He's like, I didn't even know my people could be like that. Like he's like, Jewish people officially like reached a new level when Aiden Ross when Aiden Ross was when Felix Biederman found out that Aiden Ross is Jewish.
The culture, the religion. Yes.
So why people? What?
Why don't you go to Israel?
Me go to Israel? Do you?
Yes.
I don't, bro. Is it safe over there?
Yeah.
It
I'll
is?
make sure nothing happens. I'll make sure nothing
Oh
happens.
yeah, I go, bro. I go. I mean,
There's some bad Israeli bitches.
Really?
And they don't got
He said they got some bad Israeli bitches. Israelian.
dicks.
Bro, why are you saying that like I mean, it doesn't really matter, but like, why you saying that though, bro? Like, what?
Okay.
Like,
No,
damn,
no.
bro. But yeah, a rape, bro. Arab girls are so pretty, bro.
Arabe.
No, they are. They're gorgeous, right?
Yeah.
He said Arabe. That's what he said. He said Arabe girls, bro. Arabe. The meeting of the minds. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to watch that fucking Emily Saves America shit again. I love this because I show speech just asking all the fundamentally correct and normal ass questions is wonderful. Oh. Socrates versus Plato, 100 P. We disassociate. We don't claim him, please. Sorry, bro. Aiden Ross is the #1 defender of Israel. It is what it is. Israel will never recover from the PR. Okay, to be fair, Aiden Ross, and I can't believe I'm saying this, is probably a better defender of Israel. He's a better defender of fucking Israel than Rabbi Shmuley is. Like, he literally did a better job of diffusing the situation by being like, there's sexy ass Israeli bitches, bro. They don't got dicks on them either. Like, you know what I mean? Meanwhile, fucking Rabbi Shmuley's out here being like, they're playing with titties. Like, Arabs are cutting titties off and playing with them. They're playing soccer with them. Like, he's just like an objectively insane person. And here you have Aiden Ross at least like trying to hype up Israel by being like, there's sexy ass Israeli chicks. Oh my God, I'm going to now unironically start saying Israelian. Aiden will say the same thing though. No, bro, Aiden is not fucking, Aiden doesn't know anything, okay? He is not invested enough to understand any of these things. He's literally like, he's just repeating things he's heard last. Film the Police LA is live. What's happening? By not knowing anything, he has the potential to say anything. That's true. Israel is losing the PR war. They admitted it themselves. This is why they don't care. Too many Palestinians died. And this is what pisses me off. Was it really necessary to have 40K humans dying for people to wake up? How can Aiden Ross defend Israel? He's like 22. I thought most young Jewish people were anti-Israel. Yeah, brother. Aiden Ross reflects the average young Jewish person. That's who I look to. Yeah, when I think of like a person that is saying Aiden Ross is Jewish feels anti-Semitic. Yeah, when I think of the average anything, I think of Aiden Ross. Israel lost the PR war so bad, Boomer Americans are comparing Hamas to George Washington. Wait, what the fuck? What resistant tyranny looks like? What the fuck? There is no way this guy is like a normal boomer, bro. What are you talking about? There is no fucking way. That's like, dude, ain't no boomer American is comparing George Washington to fucking Hamas, Abu Ubaidah. You know what I mean? Anyway. Tensions are extremely high. Most of the Zionist pro-genocide crowd are over 60 at least. Most of the anti-genocide are students.
All enjoy our day.
Polls show that Zoomer and millennial Jews are for a ceasefire and are increasingly becoming anti-Zionist. Aiden Ross only represents the steak marketing team, not the American Jewish population. Thank you. Exactly. This hog video
that's happening.
Wait, fuck. Dude, I've met this woman before, Montana Tucker. She literally is like, she's like a Zionism influencer now. I think it's so funny when people just go, this is my career. Like, I could not cut it as a musician, and I've just like become an influencer for a genocidal apartheid regime. Anyway, also, this is another like Aiden Ross style moment where it's like, your name is Montana Tucker. Like, that blows my mind that people named Montana Tucker are just like Montana Tucker just sounds like the most Christian name you can get. You know what I mean? Yeah, Greenblatt is at UCLA, my goat. Fucking piece of shit. Jonathan Greenblatt, I heard.
Say it with me. On Israel. Israel.
Bro, they brought up a fucking podium, dude. They brought a goddamn podium as a counter protest. Leave it up to fucking Israel defenders. Leave it up. Counter protesters at UCLA raised $43K to play October 7 clips on a big screen. Talk about paid protesters. Lamau Zionists raised a bunch of money to get people to come out and counter protest at UCLA today. A group of us are planning something very big for a UCLA encampment. We are working to bring a huge screen and big loudspeakers right next to them and just play nonstop clips and interviews from October 7. This is a big production. So fucking gross. I thought amplified acoustics was not allowed at the UCLA campus. Brother, it's for pro-Israel, dude. You can do whatever you want. Remember, Israel can do whatever the fuck it wants. And just like Israel defenders can do whatever the fuck they want in the United States of America, they can fucking literally build a much larger encampment that actually causes genuine noise pollution, and no one will do a damn thing about it. Israel is above the law. America is above the law. Israel can do whatever the fuck it wants. Okay?
If you don't watch
CNN has been reporting on UCLA all day, and they say that repeatedly the Zionist protesters have arrived to support the Jewish students. Yeah, I mean, shit is apparently popped the fuck off. I didn't even realize it was like that. If they don't let them do it, then they'll be called anti-Semitic, pro-October 7, pro-Hamas, etc. No, it doesn't even fucking matter. It doesn't matter. It is just like it is a obvious injustice that is occurring. It's a, I don't know. It's just like, it feels like white supremacy being reframed in front of our eyes. You know what I mean? It's just, that's what it is. A Zionist says, kill all you bastards to the pro-Palestinian protesters. Who's the one spewing violent rhetoric?
Israel, you can't hide. You're committing genocide. Kill all of you bastards.
Bro, you literally are at the precipice of a heart attack. What the fuck do you mean, kill all of you bastards? Bro, you're 750 years old, man. Go fucking kiss your grandparents for the last time, dumb fuck. Why the fuck are you out here? You are literally the Walking Dead, okay? Youngest Zionist, okay? Oh my God, the median age of the Zionist counter-protester agitators was like 57. And the only reason, the average age was 57, and the only reason why it was 57 is because they brought their little ass kids with them too, like their grandchildren and shit. It was so weird. I'm no longer in support of Social Security. I am no longer in support of lowering the retirement age. I want the retirement age to be 95 now. Okay? These motherfuckers that are older than the state of Israel have too much goddamn time on their goddamn hands. Okay? Get back to Walmart, Grandpa. You need to be a fucking greeter. Okay? It's done. I'm done. It's over. Okay? No more fucking retirement age, bro. These guys have to fucking chill out.
Kill all of you bastards. Yeah, kill everyone. That's what he just said. That's really nice. Clip that. Kill all you bastards. Clip that, for sure. Who's using the violent rhetoric? Kill all you bastards, he just said. Clip that shit. And we'll be free.
Oh my lord. Guys, the Hasanabi socials at the bottom of the screen have burnt into my screen. Yeah, it happens. Over 100 students and community members violently arrested at Washington University encampment tonight, including Jill Stein, who was brutalized by a police bicycle. I'm texting Brett to see if there's any updates on what the fuck's going on at the UCLA encampment, because he's there, I suspect. Seen on the ground right now. Yeah, Brett Cooper, dummy. No, Cinemarxism, our chatter. Camera guy. Documentarian. Does Alov Levy think this is a own? Notice how Palestinian flags are always paired with Irish flags, while the Israeli flags are paired with the UK flags. Yeah, that's not. Yeah, no shit, dumbass. Exactly. Wait, is he anti-Irish too? Like, what's happening? That doesn't make any sense. Like, okay. Yeah. Hey, look at how cool it is that one cool country is in support of another fucking group of people being ruthlessly slaughtered. So yeah, it's bad. Thousands of Zionists being violent and disgusting in rhetoric, but organizers are keeping everyone safe. Tell everyone we still need bodies here. More people in person protects everyone. For the UCLA encampment. That's what Brett said. He's down there still. And I suspect that the students are still... Oh, the students are still keeping shit together. Hassan, will you go to UCLA again and embarrass some Zionists for content? Probably not. The Israel defenders are so brain broken, they are now anti-imperialism. What is this? So Israel stole land. Well, I have some good news for you. We will gladly give land back. No, seriously, but only after you, the world, give your land back to the native people you stole it from. When the Australians give the lands back to the Aborigines, when the New Zealanders give it back to the Maori, when the Americans, the Canadians, and Spanish give the whole continent back to the natives, Alaska to the Eskimos, Hawaii to the Hawaiians, when China frees Tibet, when South Africa returns to the original Africans, when Egypt... Wait, what is happening? Like, he's just... I don't understand. He literally is saying, like, good things. We will do more good things if more correct, like, morally correct things happen. The problem is, many of these people... I don't think understand that, like, land back doesn't fucking mean that they come in and, like, violently take over. You know what I mean? And, like, ruthlessly slaughter. I guess because he's Israel defender, he thinks, like, the only way that an indigenous population can, like, take their land back is if they do a genocide. That's why we have to do a preemptive genocide type shit. Like, South Africa already did that. You know what I mean? When South Africa returns to the original Africans, bro, what do you mean? Like, you just brought up a point that has, like, already occurred. The apartheid was abolished there, was dissolved there. Obviously, there's still, like, economic issues in South Africa that pertain to, like, that's very same old racial dynamic. When the English frees Ireland and Scotland, oh my God. When the Swedes and Norwegians and Swedes give land to the Sami. When France returns to the Gauls. Wait, when France returns to the Gauls? What? And Iraq to the Babylonians? Like, who? Wait, what? And Persia is Sumer again? Then and only then will we gladly give but not to the watermelon people, but to those who were there before us, the Canaanites, the Amorites, the Moabites, and the Girgashites. The Hittites and the Midianites and the Levites. Bro, he literally is like, I will give Israel back to anyone and everyone but people who call themselves Palestinian. Who do you think these fucking people's descendants are, dumbass? It's so funny. Alas, they no longer exist, so we will stay here, but you can happily go back to where you came from. Israel lion. The Jewish people who returned to the land after thousands of years. Chag, Shameach, I am Israel Chai, or whatever the fuck. Ay, ay, ay. It's like, yeah, these currently existing people that like demand emancipation that is perfectly just, perfectly valid. Not those guys. We'll give it to anybody but them. What is it? Chag Sameach to you too, Hassan? They only use AI generated images. Meanwhile, Palestine has real footage. Yeah. This is the funniest shit ever. Oh, is this the thing I'm thinking of? Yeah, I already covered this yesterday. It was pretty funny. Yeah, watermelon people, he says. Anyway, it seems like bro. You see one fucking Palestinian side, pro-Palestinian dude doing this, cops would be up their asshole with fucking batons. Okay? But obviously when you're pro-Israel, you get away with whatever the fuck you want, whenever you want it, say whatever the fuck you want, constantly agitate. If you invoke any kind of negative reaction from the people that you're demanding blood from, then all of a sudden, you know, you're the villain. You're the bad guy. Chag Shameach means have a good holiday in reference to Passover. Not sure if you saw this. Yeah, bro, what is happening? You're sending me the same fucking... Oh my God. People are literally sending me the same tweet while I'm like done with the tweet. I'm like, oh yeah, we saw this yesterday. And then someone will come in and be like, not sure if you saw this tweet, but here's the same fucking tweet again.
We've been seeing all over the news all the craziness that's happening on college campuses, especially at UCLA. So I decided to come here for myself. Do you mind if I interview?
I'm not going to talk to media.
Excuse me, do you guys want to tell me what's going on here? No, sorry.
I'm not letting any media.
What is this music? Like, what? Bro, Montana, you're like 34 years old. Like, what are you, afraid of a bunch of fucking 18-year-old college students? Like, what's happening here? So scary. Look at this dramatic danger music, dude. Bro, you're like 37.
Okay, we were just standing outside, just trying to... Are we allowed to ask you guys a few questions about it? A lot of us just don't feel comfortable.
I can direct you to media liaison.
We're not gonna interview with you today. Not gonna engage with people that are gonna be pushing us.
Never seen anything like this in my life.
No, agitators aren't allowed.
Talk to one of our media.
They won't speak to me. No one will speak to me.
There's a desk over there with media.
I've spoken to them. They won't speak to me.
Well, then you can try again.
I'm so proud of these students, man. They're so good. They're so fucking good. It's like, yeah, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you couldn't cut fucking propaganda. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't want to. How about this? I don't want to debate the ongoing genocide with you. You know what I mean? What is this? What is this attitude that so many people have where it's like, oh yeah, dude, if you're fucking out there putting your body on the line, then you should get doxxed. You should literally have to debate me. It's so entitled. It's so unimaginably entitled. No, I'm not going to make content for you, you fucking weirdo. As with pundits and politicians, recent message from university leaders condemn hostility towards Jews to the exclusion of other forms of prejudice on campus. It's not really a surprise to me that the colleagues saw the Palestine flag being torn off of this house this past Friday. Oh, God, I mean, one slip, dude. One slip, and then it's like, wow, look at how anti-Semitic this fucking wall is. You know what I mean? That's crazy. Apparently the police were right there watching this too. Of course they were. Keep watching that video, it gets more insane.
Tried, and this lady specifically is telling me I'm an agitator.
Don't engage agitators in this.
I'm just trying to understand what you're protesting. For some reason, no one from your guys' team will let you guys speak, and I don't know why.
I see some Hasanabi heads in there.
And like, this is so intimidating and scary for you guys to be standing here. I literally have walked around for the past 2 hours just
What the fuck, yo? She's crying. Bruh, I'm in awe of your vulnerability. Bro, a whole ass 37-year-old woman went to a fucking UCLA encampment, a pro-Palestinian encampment, couldn't get a fucking video off that she was desperately trying to, and then she turns around and starts fucking crying. That's insane. You won't give me content. Shut up. The fuck is wrong with you? Yo, this is literally mental illness. That's it. This is a demonstration of mental illness, bro. That's it. There's nothing better to...
Hi, guys.
Oh my God. Oh my fucking Lord. What the fuck? Oh my God.
just asking peaceful questions like, what's going on here today? Why are you guys here? And no one can speak to me. And you guys are laughing. I don't understand how this is funny. I genuinely wanted to learn from you. And I wish we could have ended in a hug. That's actually what I hoped from this. That's my dream from all of this, that we could understand each other.
Yeah, sure. Okay, sure, bud. Sure. Yeah.
I think we need more barricades.
The fuck out of here, dude. Get the fuck out of here. Why does this, dude? White women tears are way too powerful. Way too powerful. Look at this. Every single person in the fucking comments is like, oh my God, I love you, Montana. I love you. I'm so horny for you, Montana. Yuval Mans on IG has some words on this fragility. That's awesome. Listen, if you are pro-Israel, you the sense of entitlement is weird, okay? The sense of entitlement that you get, the sense of entitlement you have is like so nutty to me. Where it's like, no, I'm sorry, you have to debate me, okay? Are you fucking serious, chatters? Hannah Montana? It's just literally like, God, it's so awesome. Imagine it's like a fucking gray name that you can see in person, and then the gray name starts crying when you're like, dude, fuck off. Fuck off. Actually, fuck off. I'm so intimidated. I'm so scared that you won't debate me. Like, fuck you, dude.
So, as you guys all know, since the 7th, I've been incredibly strong and fearless, honestly. And I've, went to Israel, and I've shown up at all the rallies.
So fearless. Oh, she's so strong.
And protest and post every day, and I'm not scared of anything, and I don't let anything get to me, and I'm strong for myself, for my family, for all of you. But today at UCLA really, really got to me. To see all these people being so brainwashed and really be like a cult. It was a full cult there. They're camping out, and when I ask them peacefully and nicely, why are they here and what are they protesting and what message do they want to get out to the world, I was extremely kind and nice, and I took all of my Israel Jewish jewelry off and literally was just trying to learn and understand. They all sounded like robots, and they would just say, you have to talk to our media liaison. We won't speak to you. We don't speak to intruders. We don't speak to perpetrators. We don't speak to violators. Or I forgot the exact words that they kept calling.
It's agitator, man. A counter protester. Agitator. That's what you are. You're there to agitate.
I have it on film. And I literally was so nice, just trying to understand them and ask them why they are there. And they couldn't speak to me. And then finally they barricaded me. They had like 50 students.
They barricaded you? No, they didn't. They literally, bro, it's like having a conversation with a person who's hallucinating. Every time you talk to someone who's defending Israel, like, you have to literally deal with like an unrestricted amount of insanity that is just like coming out of their, Like their analysis, I know the level of mental illness is so out of control where it's like you walk to the encampment, they didn't let you into the encampment, nobody fucking barricaded you, they simply told you go talk to the media liaison. The media liaison correctly said, no, we're not doing any interviews, thank you. And then she started crying and saying how scary and intimidating it is. And it's like, you are just in a perpetual state of victimhood. You are fucking hysterical. He's yelling again. I am yelling again. Just got kicked out of the anti-Zionism encampment for, you guessed it, being white. Yeah. It just doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, you don't have to go there, especially because, like, protest in general is done to be disruptive, to make demands of the government. Like, you don't have to counter protest in this situation. Like, Nazis will protest on college campuses, and of course, people will launch a defense against that, right? In the form of a counter protest. And that's perfectly valid because Nazi presence on campus and those kinds of protests on campus are done in an effort to spark fear in all marginalized people, in the hearts of, obviously, in the hearts and minds of the Jewish student body, all that stuff, right? But when someone is protesting against the American government or against the college investing into corporations that are funding and facilitating an ongoing genocide of the Palestinian population, when you go there to fucking counter protest, you're literally like, I'm here representing the American state and the nuclear, very militant apartheid state of Israel that is currently conducting a genocide. I'm here to counter protest at the behest of a genocide. I want more genocide to happen. There's just no moment where you turn around and think to yourself, like, maybe what I'm doing is like pretty crazy. I love how she mentioned that she took off her Jewish stuff because it shows protesters didn't kick her out because they're just anti-Semitic. Yeah. It doesn't matter. She will still run that line anyway. You're wrong, Hasanabi. My great grandparents who fled Poland in the 30s told me on their deathbed before they passed, being annoying at a protest and not getting attention is exactly like the Holocaust. Jesus. Yeah. It's just so crazy because, like, as I've mentioned time and time again, like, I'm a leftist, dude. All of my goats are Jewish. You know what I mean? So many fucking iconic revolutionary figures. Like, Jewish people are at the forefront of social justice historically. So to fucking see people just like representing values that are diametrically opposed to Jewish culture, Jewish history, like Jewish radical action, Jewish revolutionary action, it makes no fucking sense. Yeah, Karl Marx, Rosa Luxemburg, Einstein, like, it's so strange, dude. It is so fucking weird. It just doesn't make any sense. I thought Marx was a self-hating Jew. I mean, he was definitely not super fond of Judaism, but he is Jewish. Anyway, tell them Einstein was a socialist that turned down the presidency of Israel and they'll call you a liar. I mean, all of that is true. Einstein would be considered an anti-Zionist by today's metrics with the shit that he was writing about, like the early formation of Likud, which was like Irgun and then Haganah and all the fucking Zionist militancy early on. Anyway.
Come with their arms around each other, all fully covered and staring at me, and they wouldn't let me even walk by, even though it's public property, and they wouldn't even let me walk by.
In the words of Karl Marx, Africa was a warren for the commercial hunting of black skins. As a South African, how do you handle so much naivete in the West? Lema Fayal. Wait, what?
And I literally tried to have a conversation with them saying, I'm really trying to learn and understand you guys. Please tell me. They started barricading me and wouldn't let me go and said if I walked into them that they were going to physically stop me from going, and I didn't want anything to get violent again.
Einstein was very racist towards Chinese people, though. Yeah, that's why the theory of relativity is actually counter-revolutionary. And in the and honestly, in the struggle sessions, everyone that was teaching that fucking counter-revolutionary garbage deserved to get a beating. Okay, like in the opening of the three-body problem.
Wasn't there to cause any stress or harm. I literally was trying to learn and understand, and for the first time ever, I broke down. And
I love her being like, yeah, these guys are all brainwashed, they're a cult, and I'm trying to learn from them
in front of them, and I'm so mad at myself for doing that. But I just was staring at them in their eyes, and I couldn't understand how they could be so brainwashed, and some of them were truly evil, and it's just so sad.
Dude, Israel defenders doing the thing I hate the most, as you guys know, being a fucking debate pervert in real life, and also hitting the just curious notes. Like, you are a fucking bridge troll, okay? You are just an online troll IRL. You're literally, it is the most annoying fucking thing you can do. It is so goddamn frustrating. I don't even know how I would deal with that in the real world. I don't know how I would deal with that. It's just like, oh, you won't debate me? You won't let me cut propaganda? Oh, well, I just wanted to personally learn about your perspective. Oh, you're a cult. You're brainwashed. Oh my God. No wonder fucking Dvorstany's entire community loves dick riding Israel. It's just like a bunch of fucking sociopathic debate perverts, nihilistic edgelords running around being like, I'm just curious. Why do you love Hamas so much? I'm just curious. Like, that's not a question. That's an accusation. And it's a conversation that I can't have with you because you're insane. Like, we're not operating on the same moral boundaries. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I mean about fascist propaganda. That level of dehumanization against your opponents, against the out group, unironically makes you less human yourself. It dehumanizes the in body, the in group. That's how the Nazis operate too. That's precisely how this shit works.
That this is what our world has come to. And I'm upset, I'm hurt, I'm angry, but it just makes me now show even more of why I need to keep doing the work that I'm doing and why we all need to keep standing up to this. And I really hope for a world and a day when we can all be in peace and we can all have conversations and learn from each other. But I'm so disheartened about what happened.
Thank you for your work. You're literally radiating bad vibes. Yeah, I mean, it makes so much sense.
Hi, guys.
God, I just like, all these people are so lame, dude. All these people are so fucking lame. It's so funny. I'm going to run this part back again, though.
Just trying to understand what you're protesting. For some reason, no one from your guys' team will let you guys speak. And I don't know why you guys can't speak to me. And like, this is so intimidating and scary for you guys to be standing here. I literally have...
But you went there. It's a peace rally. You went to a ceasefire rally. Around 40,000 Palestinians have been ruthlessly slaughtered. These people, these students are demanding an end to it. And you went to that rally to debate them. And when they didn't give you the content you were looking for, you started crying about how intimidating these 18-year-olds at the peace rally are. What kind of fucking planet are we living in? Hello, baby. Please down. Who's a good baby? You are. You're a good baby. It is such a funny parallel to just like how Israel as a state operates. It's such a funny parallel to experience in general. Murat, you better have ordered some fucking extra guacamole for your boy. Son of a gun. No, but I have my own chips. I can have my own chips. My Quest protein chips with the guac. Don't call that young lady a baby. The kid in the background is the one you asked if he balls immediately after seeing him. Yeah, that's a Hasanabi head right there. A lot of these are Hasanabi heads. I'm so proud of them. They're doing incredible work, dude. Those content creators that are what I call professional victims, like those defectors and those dumb rightists as well. Anyway, did Moran order Mexican food from San Diego that took 3 hours to deliver? Yes. Yes. But this one is technically valid though. This one does actually take a lot of time to get here, but honestly it's delicious. So love from the Montreal encampment. Hey, shouts out to Montreal. Anyway, let's see what my girl Kat is saying. Kat is of course Palestinian. She's a Media Matters person as well. She's dope. Let's see what she has to say.
You are missing out on some seriously unhinged coverage of these college protests. Student encampments are popping up nationwide, standing against the genocide happening in Gaza. And I'll tell you this, warhawks, and especially conservative warhawks, are losing their collective mind. So instead of my usual Friday recap, let's talk about how bad this rhetoric's gotten, because it's not great. Sentient hazing scandal Jesse Waters invented a completely new guy to be mad.
Sentient hazing scandal Jesse Waters. I love that. She watches Fox News 24/7 for brain rot maxing. Yes. I'm a fan of Media Matters, as you guys know. I have a lot of friends that work there. I respect a lot of the work that they do. There are definitely some Media Matters guys in the aftermath of October 7 that I was like a little sussed out on, but they've calmed down. Like they very quickly were like, okay, never mind. Yeah, no, Israel is doing some fuck shit. There were a couple where I was like, damn, bro, really? Like, what's happening? I thought you were progressive, but Kat is obviously Palestinian.
And don't worry, it's super racist.
Biden's making us pay Johnny Jihad's tuition. Johnny Jihad can just walk from Mexico to Texas, hop on a plane, and slip into the crowd on the Columbia Quad. They've been grooming little Johnny Jihads to burst into flames for
Johnny Jihads. Dumbass. Oh, by the way, UCLA update. Protesters left the area where the Zionist pro-genocide crowd is convening and are now planning to march to an undisclosed second location. Like, these are the counter protesters to the counter protesters, basically, like the pro-Palestinian protesters. Kat is a master of TikToks. Also, I catch her stuff all the time on my For You page. Yeah. What is this? Chinese netizens on the campus protest. Extremely your shit. Oh, yeah. This is a real photo that they AI-ified, actually. This is like a real... I mean, this is a AI version of like an actual photo that they I saw. Yeah, that's like a real person. It's like a... It's not AI? Oh, it's not AI? They drew it? Okay, nice. Anyway. Sorry for saying it's AI, but it's a real photo regardless. We will not stop, we will not let this go. We will not stop, we will not let this go. We will not stop, we will not let this go. Bro, it seems like pro-Israeli counter-protesters are doing the worst possible thing you could do to someone, which is blast Israeli techno music from fucking podiums at the encampment. It's basically torture. Watch this dude in the IDF dog tags with the Dodgers hat. Both sides of UCLA Gaza Solidarity encampment very tightly packed on the street. More shoving and screaming. He's got IDF dog tags on. Fucking baby killer. Why are you riding for them baby killers, dog? You should be ashamed of yourself. Fucking monstrous piece of shit. Oh, there it is. Why do you want me to look at this guy? Bro, it's oh yeah, yuck. Do you think the Zionists caused the First World War? What? No, dude. What the fuck are you talking about? Bro's hitting the fucking old school anti-Semitism. Bro's hitting like 1920s anti-Semitism. You know what I mean? It's like he dusted off. He dusted off the tomes. He was like, he had to look through cobwebs to get to that. Are you Hitler, dude? What is happening? My man's coming in here with the protocols of Zion shit. You know what I mean? Do you think the original Zionists actually would steal Christian babies from the village and drink their blood? Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. Oh my God.
First semester, kaboom.
Please, Mr. Jihad was my father. Call me Johnny.
Kaboom.
That same night, a guest made a really great comparison about these protests.
What we are seeing right now on our streets and on our...
Like, it's such a funny take because, like, when you're talking about Zionists in that stage, there's like 200 Jews that were Zionists at that point in time, okay? Like, max. There were it's like there were more Christian Zionists. I mean, there still are more Christian Zionists than there are Jewish Zionists in general. But like at that point, it wasn't even a fucking movement. There was like 8 dudes that were like, yeah, can you give us this land, please? It would be sick. What the fuck do you mean?
Campuses is an illegal occupation. Just like we were bombed by the Japanese in Pearl Harbor well into World War II, and that woke us up, we have been bombed, okay? And Americans need to wake up right now. So
what is she saying?
There is a course correction because they are following the exact textbook.
She's like, we need to do what we did to Japan, but to our campuses, okay? We need to nuke these encampments. These encampments are doing a fucking Pearl Harbor. Dude, this got 100K likes. What the fuck, Lamau? It's a joke, man.
How to overthrow a democracy.
What the fuck are you talking about? Just listen to yourself for 1 second. You compared students protesting to Pearl Harbor. You should never be allowed to speak on television again.
We have been bombed.
Throughout this entire news cycle, I've learned that Fox hosts truly do not understand the very idea of solidarity. Like, multiple people are convinced these are being puppeteered by a shadow government.
Many are questioning who's organizing this movement, pointing out that these tents are pretty similar, right, at campuses across the country, even though they're hundreds of miles apart.
Why do they have...
Okay, you say that to protect yourself? Oh my God. Do you think the Zionists caused the First World War because they tried for years to buy the land in Palestine, but the Ottomans didn't want it? And after the First World War, the Zionists got the land through the Balfour Declaration. It would not have been possible otherwise. Yeah, dude. Theodore Herzl fucking facilitated World War I and World War II. You're literally fucking... I'm not saying this to protect myself. I'm saying this to make fun of you. Okay? You're literally doing Hitlerian... You're doing Hitlerian propaganda. It's insane. Bruder Eren. Are you like a fucking German Turk Nazi? What's happening here? Abi AK Türk olduğunu hiç şaşırmıyorum ya. Türkler o kadar gerizekalıca tarih teorilerine inanıyor ki. Yeah, it's probably one of the Turks that fucking hates the Palestinians for betraying us in World War I. And then also is additionally speculating that I'm like afraid. Yeah, dude, I'm saying that to protect myself because the real truth is too scary, right? You got it. Thanks, man. You're really caught on. Yeah, the real truth is so scary that I fucking talk about Israel's actions every single fucking day for the past 7 months. Okay? What you should be afraid of is the top of the hour ad break, Bruder Eren, because that's the real truth. Okay? I'm a Muslim, not a Turk, and would die for Palestine. Okay, brother. Well, you should do a little bit more reading and stop blaming random shit. You wrote Turkish in the chat, so I thought you might be Turkish. For chatter, political Zionism was barely a decade old at that point. There was immigration, but it was first wave stuff of Hoveve Zion, disorganized refugees from the Russian Empire mainly. Yeah, there was like 8 dudes, bro. And also, as you correctly pointed out, the Ottoman Empire said no to Theodore Herzl. They were like, no, big dog, you can't have Palestine, actually. We are not going to give it to you. No. They said no, smile. I think he's Turkish, but identifies just Muslim. I know his type. Anyway. But as I was saying, he should be prepping against the 3-minute ad break that's coming right now. Oh no, look at his logs, the literal Nazi. Wait, let me see his logs. I mean, we're going to ban him anyway, but I want to make fun of him a little bit more. I'm Algerian. Can I blame the Ottoman for French colonialism? That's such flawed logic. Yeah. Abi Türkler de fact checking yapma yeteneği yok. Özellikle hoşlarına gidecek şeyleri hiç sorgulamıyorlar. Yeni bir grup var, İsveçlerin Türk olduğuna inandırmışlar kendilerini. İsveçleri de ikna etmeye çalışıyorlar Reddit'te. That's awesome. Okay, but that's fucking dope. Apparently there's a new group in Turkey that is trying to convince the Swiss population that the Swiss are actually Turks. I love that. Bro says he's not Turkish, and now he's saying he is Turkish. I'm a Turkish Palestinian dude and Muslim, alhamdulillah, and don't hate any other religions. Adolf was created by the Zionists, even World War I, just because to destroy the Ottomans. Okay, bro, here, take some fucking time out and really reconsider what's going on in that world, okay? Yeah, the Zionists created Adolf Hitler. Bro is so fucking far removed from reality that he's out here saying the shit that John Hagee is saying. He literally is like, no, I'm for the Ummah. You don't understand? And he's like fucking doing a handshake emoji with like some of the most rabid, psychopathic Christian evangelicals on the planet. That's awesome. It's great stuff, man. Wild shit. Oh my God. Does Turkish use the Roman alphabet, or is there one of its own? Wait, what? No, Turkey, since the alphabet revolution, uses the Latin alphabet. The fuck? Look at this fit. He looks like a Second Life character that just got banished from the beach outside town. I mean, I feel bad because he's like, you know, he's Palestinian and Turkish, but his brain has been fucking poisoned by like Western anti-Semitism.
All of them, the same green tents, who is producing this massive amount of literature.
Like you, okay, here's why that doesn't make any sense unless you do legitimately believe that there is, like Jews have secret superpowers of convincing people, okay? At that point, there's like 10 dudes, 10 Jewish dudes, and maybe like 200 Christian dudes that are like, yeah, Israel should be given to the Jews, right? Like literally, we're talking like 220 total people on the planet that believe this, okay? Those very same secular Jews can't even convince the rest of the Jews that this is a good idea, like in the time frame that he's talking about. But they magically were able to, well, one, couldn't convince the Ottoman Empire, but were magically able to convince the Brits. And also were able to motivate Hitler into doing the Holocaust. Like, what are you saying? You know what I mean? Like, you have to literally, you have to believe in your mind that like Theodore Herzl had some magic fucking magical powers of like mind control in order for him to be able to facilitate the worst slaughter of Jewish people with the hopes that inevitably he would be able to achieve his end goal of creating Israel. That's insane. It's just insane. It's completely insane.
Sure. You look at the tents, you can tell this is an inorganic thing. This is definitely a setup. This is definitely an operation.
You're telling me they all went and bought tents from a sports supply store? Wouldn't it make more sense if this was being run by Iran? Unsurprisingly, a ton of hosts were pushing for state violence against these students.
Shouldn't America arrest as many Hamas as possible?
All of them should be closed down tonight. People who insist on staying should be arrested.
And the police are basically they're trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, you're right. The anti-war college students usually go down as the bad guys in history. Also, sicking police on them makes you look awesome in retrospect. And finally, Jesse Waters is convinced that only women are supporting Palestine, and it's because they're too
That's the best one. This is the best clip.
And I think I can speak for the women at the table.
You cannot.
Are generally nurturing people. And when their professors are giving them better grades for their social activism, they're trying to appeal to their teachers, and they've been told they're oppressed as women. And they identify with...
It's awesome because it's like, it literally is just like mental illness all the way down. It's just like hallucinations built on top of other hallucinations, built on top of other hallucinations. It's crazy. Here is Biden's approval of handling the Israel-Hamas war. 81% of 18 to 34-year-olds disapprove. Raw data is even more damning. 35 to 49% has 29% approval. 50 to 64 has 30% approval. 65% has 37% approval. It's fucking terrible. He is so cooked. And I've been saying this for months. He's cooked because he's not hitting one direction. He's trying to literally do the both sides angle. And that's how you lose even the older population. That's like, dude, take a stance. By both sidesing Israel's ongoing ethnic cleansing campaign, he's even losing the dudes who are like, no, Israel should be doing more ethnic cleansing. Think about that. 18 to 34-year-olds, the Hasanabi head contingency here is at an 81% disapproval. How is he doing both sides? Am I missing something? Here's how he's doing both sides in the most laughable and worst possible way. He is obviously full throttle, unconditionally in support of Israel. Okay? Sending more weapons to Israel, constantly offering political cover to Israel at the UN Security Council, vetoing anything that Israel wants the United States to veto, right? But simultaneously, he's looking extra weak by saying, you know, Benjamin Netanyahu has gone too far. He keeps leaking to the media that behind closed doors, he's angry at Benjamin Netanyahu. That only appeals to like 8 people in the fucking divorcelli orbiter community. And those guys are already incredibly motivated to defend Israel anyway. So you are only fucking galvanizing basically like 8 total people. There is no real contingency for those who are like, I am a diehard Democrat and I love Biden trying to do his very best while simultaneously giving full-throated support to Israel. That's it. For the rest of the population, they are obviously very upset with the way that Biden is mishandling this. Okay? There's no constituency, there's no contingency, there's nothing for it. For the rest of the population, especially younger populations, they look to this and go, what the fuck are you doing? We've seen all of the dead children this needs to be put an end to. This is fucking ridiculous. For the older population, some on the far right and some in the middle that has been brought up with unfiltered pro-Israeli propaganda their whole fucking lives, they think, well, take a stance, man. Take a fucking stance. We want you to go full-throated on in support of Israel, which he is doing, but like, don't criticize Israel at all. It makes you look weak. The irony, of course, is that the only one who benefits from this is going to be his challenger, who can just sit on the sidelines, despite the fact that he played a significant role in October 7. Chick Hicks is based, what? Yeah, we saw the car crashes. It feels like this is the Democrat Party's version of abortion. Okay? Lawful protesting isn't even possible in authoritarian societies like the one Trump wants to transform America into. Just saying. Come on, Aaron. Jesus Christ. It's so crazy. Like, Biden's abortion is Israel. Obviously, the Republican Party, anytime they do stuff in the direction of like restricting abortion further, criminalizing abortion further, they end up galvanizing and negatively polarizing the population against them, because the population is very upset at the abortion restrictions to begin with. That's a minefield politically to navigate through. Trump is having a very hard time navigating through that. What's hilarious, on the other hand, is that the Democrats are trying to give a gimme to Donald Trump, because most people cannot connect Trump's actions, because most people are not very intelligent when they do political analysis. So they can't connect Donald Trump's actions to October 7. So they see Biden also, facilitating Israel's current genocide, which, Brandon has a lot of blood on his hands for sure. And therefore, Trump, the less he talks about Palestine, the more the Democrats look bad. The more the less Trump has to, the more Trump just sits back on the issue of Palestine and Israel, the more people can imagine what his positions are. And most people, because they're not, thinking about this critically and intelligently, can imagine what his positions are, and they imagine it in a very favorable fashion. When they're imagining what Trump's position is on the Palestinian issue, it suits whatever their personal ideological standing is. Those who are reactionarily in support of Israel think Trump is going to be extra hard on Palestinians, and they are correct. Those who think that those who want Palestinians to survive can now sit there and imagine that maybe Trump would be better than Biden on the issue of Palestinians. They're wrong, but it doesn't matter. You can't stop the broader population from thinking this way. That's not how politics works. Look no further than the way that Republicans fuck up the economy, okay, and have Democrats come in to try and desperately fix it, and then actually end up putting the economy on a, I guess, from a capitalist sense, a better trajectory, only to have the Republican come back and take advantage of that, and then fuck it up with more tax cuts and more deregulation, only to have the Democrats come back and try to fix it one more time. Okay? Fix it from a capitalist framework, I'm saying. So that is the reason why people over the course of these past 30, 40 years have developed this attitude that Republicans are good for the economy and the Democrats are bad for the economy. It's because people do not have the critical thinking skills to recognize that it's actually the Republican Party taking advantage of the Democratic Party's initiatives and taking advantage of the momentum, because the economy doesn't like fix itself overnight. What do you mean? Republicans also serve capitalism from a capitalist framework? No, there is too much capitalism. You can do a little too much capitalism that you need to, like, you know, with it, that will end up harming the economy broadly or create too much economic uncertainty, too much volatility, too much income inequality, too much wealth inequality. It also goes back to the ratchet effect as well. Anyway, it will be very interesting, Osita says, to see whether and how the characterization of the Gaza protests in the media will shape the politics of this cohort moving forward. The concept that denigrating a particular constituency might radicalize them further is applied exclusively to conservative voters. I've never read a warning that speaking about young people in the most unhinged terms available might trigger a backlash. Speaking personally, I didn't come to college particularly invested in social issues. Then I read in The Atlantic that most students in America are mentally deranged, will run crying out of class if there's a word in a book they don't like, and want to send white men to the gulag. This did not seem correct to me. I started asking questions. Now, of course, I'm a woke commissar. Most young people are not even liberal, let alone on the left. They're already gay race communists. Are they somehow going to become gayer? Yeah. Fucking jobless ass losers, bro. I swear to God. Can you explain Trump's involvement with October 7? Yes, I have 1,000 times over, but I guess it bears repeating. Donald Trump's administration was incredibly right-wing on the issue of Israel, more than previous administrations were. They took off all of the safeguards that prior administrations had on the issue of Israel. Safeguards that were held together with ticker tape, but they were there nonetheless. Things like not moving the embassy, the American embassy, to Jerusalem with a full recognition that Jerusalem belongs to Israel, because half of Jerusalem is occupied territory. Okay? Donald Trump also permanently recognized the annexed territory of Golan Heights. Golan Heights is Syrian land that Israel illegally occupies. Donald Trump and his administration gave the Palestinian problem, the Palestinian issue, to his son-in-law, Jared Kushner. Jared Kushner's bold, brilliant initiative was basically the Abraham Accords, which was normalizing relations, which already were normalized between Gulf states and other menace states, okay, with the state of Israel, completely sidestepping the Palestinians and not even writing anything for the Palestinians at all. Okay? This was obviously very frustrating for the Palestinians, who were like, what the fuck? We're still here. You can't just simply write us off. That is the reason why the Palestinian resistance openly turned around and did October 7. Because when you are desperate, your final act is always going to be, especially one born out of desperation, your final act is going to be a violent one, to say, look, the occupation will be costly for you. Not to mention the Pompeo doctrine on the settlements, which was removed, the official position that the settlements were illegal. Biden literally continued with everything Trump did for years. How is he any less responsible, buddy? Wait, what? At what point do you think that I ever fucking said Biden is not just as responsible as Donald Trump for not changing the course on any of those things, buddy? Okay, I have said exactly those words that you are weirdly, contentiously bringing back to me as though you and I are on opposing sides of this argument. The fuck is wrong with these people? Do you not speak the language of English? What's happening? Are you just operating on resentment and anger? What's fucking happening here? He did hit the America KKK on note, so I might need to use Maoist standard English. Do you see the brutal way the German police is cracking down on peaceful protesters? I live here. I fucking hate it. Yeah, I don't know what to say about Germany and what the German chatters can do. Quiet. Because honestly, the German, she's just groaning at me. That's what it is. The entitlement is amazing. Voluntarily, the student of cutting pro-genocide propaganda. The students don't take the bait her because they won't give her content. Pro-genocide propaganda under the guise of just asking cues. Remember when the AFD was just the third largest party in parliament and wasn't polling at a stable 22 to 23% for months in a row? Good times. Oh, yeah. Talking like a boomer. Memes, dude. You need memes. Muslim German lawyers are collecting evidence to prosecute the Berlin police. Good luck. Good luck to the lawyers in Germany. There you go. I was marshalling at the pro-Palestine protests in Melbourne yesterday. A hijabi woman got attacked by a guy with a black sun tattoo who then ran for cover in a pub. The cops stood outside the pub to protect them. One even them had a thin blue line patch. They shoved several protesters by the back of the neck while we could see the officers inside laughing with the Nazis. Shit is crazy out here. Stay safe, chat. Free Palestine. Yeah, I saw that. We saw that there was a banana allergy in the pro-Palestinian encampment at UCLA. So the fucking Zionist counter-protest agitators. What's wrong with the just asking mentality? Just asking, super curious. Man, shut the fuck up. You know exactly what's annoying about it. You're doing it right now. Cynically weaponizing genuine curiosity is one of the most evil things, dude. One of the most annoying things you can do, because it's like it's done to stifle legitimately curious people. It's not a fucking protective cover, especially not one that you can utilize in this community, because we know that we deal with that kind of concern trolling on a daily fucking basis. And it really sucks because, like, there are people who are genuinely curious. There are people out there who are genuinely curious. They just don't say just curious or just asking questions. Anyway, that chatter was joking. He's being a little jokester. Let's talk about Biden silent on Gaza war while White House Correspondents' dinner despite protesters' criticism. A little bit of drama from the White House Correspondents' dinner, and then we're going to move on to fun stuff, okay?
This was a White House Correspondents' dinner unlike any other. Hundreds of protesters gathered outside the Washington Hilton to heckle the attendees.
You're celebrating when you go into this dinner. 133 Palestinian journalists in Gaza. Think about that. 33,000 people who have been murdered. More than half of them are children. We charge you with genocide!
The protesters were particularly incensed that journalists would attend an event with a U.S. president who is himself accused of being complicit in the Israeli killing of so many Palestinian journalists in Gaza.
These journalists that are attending this event should be ashamed of themselves. There's been over 200 days since the start of this genocide. Over 30,000 Palestinians have been killed, and 140 journalists have been targeted by the Israeli government and murdered because they are telling the truth. And instead of speaking out against that and having any journalistic integrity, they're having dinner and laughing with Biden, who's providing billions of dollars to the Israeli government for them to fund this genocide of Palestinians, and they've said nothing.
Gazan journalists wrote an open letter to their colleagues saying, "We insist you publicly boycott the upcoming White House Correspondents' dinner as an act of solidarity with us, your fellow journalists, as well as with the millions of Palestinians currently."
See, now the problem is the American journalists don't think that the Gazan journalists are actually journalists because they don't think they're people at all. In order to become a professional, a part of the professional media class, you have to kind of let go of the attitude that Arabs are humans or Muslims are humans, especially for the past 30 years where, 20 plus years, where the American target has always been one of dehumanization to the Muslims, to the Arabs in general. And if you want to, make a career in journalism, you got to go along with that. That's it.
currently being starved in Gaza due to the Biden administration's continued political, financial, and military backing of Israel and cutoff of funding for...
There is no better representation of this reality, especially when paired up with like a consistent dick riding of Israel's insane actions, when you consider the fact that when the Associated Press and Al Jazeera building, the Associated Press building was blown up by Israel in 2021, I believe. The American media class basically covered that and totally ate the propaganda and repeated it unconditionally. Yeah, in the month of May 2021, Israel directly blew up the Associated Press building and then claimed that Hamas was there. And the irony, of course, is that the American journalist class turned around and repeated it verbatim. There were very little questions. There were very little curiosity. Same with Shireen Abu Akleh, who was an American Palestinian. There was that as well. Her assassination, her direct assassination in the hands of an Israeli sniper, also was covered with the same exact lack of interest, lack of curiosity, verbatim fucking repeating what Israel had told them. Christiane Amanpour said exactly that when she was on Jon Stewart's show. Literally, he said these Palestinian journalists, and she had to step in and go, no, but the Western ones are the ones that count. Yeah. An American Christian Palestinian, Shireen Abu Akleh.
Life-saving humanitarian aid. But the US media elite was undaunted and dutifully took their seats in the ballroom. There was only one brief passing reference to the dead Palestinian journalists, and even then without mentioning who was responsible for their killing.
Our profession can be perilous. Since October, about 100...
How do you feel about Hamas purposely hiding in hospitals, schools, etc.? Selective outrage. The level of gaslighting is insane. Who attacked who again? Please remind me. We got another one. We got another October 7 leaver that returned. I refuse to believe you support Hamas, not you justifying October 7th debate, literally harassing Jewish people on private property, but get mad when they defend themselves. No, that's not bait. This is an October 7 leaver. Okay. Or maybe following since April 18th. Yeah. October 7 leaver coming back to return. Okay. Chatter. There is no justification for Israel's actions from the jump. If you do not know how the Israeli state in its inception operated, you should read a book. 10 Myths by famous Israeli historian Ilan Pappé is a good place to start. 100 Years of Palestine by Rashid Khalidi is another good book that you can read to see the Palestinian perspective and the Palestinian history. These are two easy to read books that you can engage with, okay? If you think that October 7 happened in a vacuum, you are wrong. All right? If you think that October 7 happened out of nowhere, specifically due to unrestricted Jew hatred from the Palestinian side, you unfortunately have eaten the propaganda dick so fucking thoroughly that you just cannot comprehend that people that you perceive on the opposing side are also rational actors. You might not agree with what they did. I certainly do not agree with the killing of civilians, of course. But having said that, you still need to understand what the resentment, where the resentment comes from, why there is resentment at all. But it feels like you might be too difficult to change the mind of on this issue, considering that I'm talking about Shireen Abu Akleh and also the bombing of the Associated Press building, and you literally immediately repeated that Hamas was purposely hiding in hospitals, schools, etc. There is no conclusive evidence that Israel has given about Hamas hiding inside of hospitals, schools, etc. at all. You have only seen weapons caches that Israel will present every now and then, okay, or used to present every now and then when people were paying attention to what Israel's bombing campaign looked like inside Gaza in this past siege, with the caches being like one fucking AK-47, that in your mind completely justifies Israel's sieges on the motherfucking hospitals. The level of gaslighting is insane to you because you have been gaslit. It's a sad state of affairs. Okay? Counter protesters are the ones who are going and harassing Jewish people, Jewish anti-Zionists, as well as all the pro-Palestinian student encampments. I went to the Palestinian student encampment at UCLA and I covered it. We were able to get much better insight into what goes on inside of those encampments, and we saw it. It was all old ass motherfuckers, jobless motherfuckers, rolling up, not even a part of the campus, not even a part of the student body population, going there deliberately with an interest in agitating. Okay? It's sad. It's sad to see how much someone who has been in this community for a long ass time can be just so deluded on the matter. I still believe that you can change your mind, and I hope you do. I hope you become a little bit more understanding that the Palestinians are also human beings, just like the Israelis are, and they are worthy of emancipation. They totally are just in demanding. Nice haircut, Ape. You look like an 80s serial killer. I serially killed your mother's pussy last night. Went ape mode on it. She loved it. I'm your dad now. You're grounded. Anyway, where was I? I don't even know if this dude is still in the chat, but I hope he's listening to what I have to say. And I hope you can change your mind.
Journalists have been killed, most of those deaths in Gaza. According to the committee,
I legit got banned because emotions were high during the Ukraine issue, but over time I recognize your position as we continue to discuss. Maybe it happens to these folks eventually. Well, the Ukraine situation also unfolded in the exact ways that I have, ironic that my prediction that Russia will never invade Ukraine was, of course, completely wrong, which I apologize for immediately. But everything since then has unfolded in the exact ways that I've said it was going to unfold, which is also, I think, part of the reason why a lot of people immediately ran to misconstrue what I was saying and you know, never really looked back. But I'm glad that you became more open-minded to what I was saying.
to protect journalists.
Lined up outside the Washington Hilton, a representation of all the bloodied flak jackets of the journalists killed by the Israelis. And yet, even this display apparently didn't have an effect on the attendance of the U.S. press corps inside. Shia Bertansi, Al Jazeera, Washington.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news.
Oh, the Joss monologue? Oh, God. Fucking demon. Yeah, I'm listening and I will continue to hear different perspectives. I agree with you on most things, but this one is taking time. There you go. See? It's good to try and diffuse people and shake them from their previously held convictions, chatters. Don't fucking get mad and be like, it's genocide, so fuck this guy, okay? My entire purpose on this fucking planet in my professional career is to try to talk to people and get them to understand a different perspective that they are they seemingly have no interest in seeing. For many, if they've never been introduced to the subject matter, for many, if they've never been introduced to the subject matter with a shit ton of propaganda, it's relatively easy. For others, especially on the issue of Israel, many people are from birth learning about Israel in a completely different way, and it becomes very much a part of their identity and the way that they see the world. That's why there's so much cognitive dissonance amongst progressives when it comes to the issue of Israel. So many progressives who are wonderful people, otherwise, who are kind people, wonderful people that believe in social justice and whatever, literally just like snap in a way when it comes to the issue of Israel, when they're like, well, these guys are fucking terrorist, monstrous dogs. They're pieces of shit that must be dealt with. You know what I mean? You are shadow banned on Twitch for your information. No, I'm not. I don't know why people say stuff like that. I'm definitely not shadow banned on Twitch.
For breaking bread. 130 journalists dead. Every time the media lies. A journalist in Augusta dies. Journalist in Augusta dies.
I really want to ask that chatter. Here, chatter, this is a Israeli asking you this question. Okay. What do you think this war will achieve for Israel? Once all of Gaza is demolished, what will happen? Will there be an occupation or a security belt like in Lebanon? Will weakening Hamas militarily for a few years make Israel safer in the long term? If the long-term consequences are that any chance of a future diplomacy is irreparably damaged, as generations are justifiably radicalized to unprecedented levels. That's the other thing. Brother, if you are literally, and he's being sarcastic, the Israeli perspective is obviously not not sarcastic. He's saying the Israeli perspective is obviously not the most important one. But like, if there are literally Israeli Jews in the chat who can recognize this fucking reality, and there are plenty of them here, okay, then if you are like a Zionist in America, what the fuck, what are you doing? You know what I mean? These dudes live in it. He's right. He's not sarcastic. No, I know. He was being understanding. I thought he said Israel is the Israeli perspective is obviously the most important. He wasn't saying that. He was saying it's not the most important. That's the thing. Like dudes who don't live in Israel, who don't want to live in Israel, okay, who live in like fucking Los Angeles, having a more hardline position than like Israeli leftists is wild. You know what I mean? Like what? How the fuck? I mean, I guess that's how propaganda works, though, especially because American propaganda hinges on an unrestricted amount of Islamophobic bullshit.
133 journalists have been killed trying to tell this truth and share this truth with the world.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Biden pokes fun at his agent Trump during the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Thank you, thank you. If you think your Irish grandparents are wondering, my great-great-grandparents that came here in 1846, and went, what in the hell's going on? I want to thank you for the warm welcome, but please, not so loud. Donald was listening.
Oh, God. So lame. He said the Donald. Way past his bedtime, too. You can fucking see it in his face.
Be Don. I kind of like that. I may use that again. Kelly O'Donnell, President of the White House Correspondents Association, thank you for having me. Thank you, sir. But Kelly O, let's be honest. You're way too young to be president. It's been a year since I delivered this speech, and my wife Jill, who's with me tonight, was worried how I do. I told her, don't worry, just like riding a bike. She said, that's what I'm worried about. Of course, the 2024 election is in full swing. And yes, age is an issue. I'm a grown man running against a 6-year-old. Well, I feel great.
Dude, it's like, oh God, this is so terrible. I feel like this is one of those things where it's obviously Genocide Joe, right? So that's fucking ridiculous to begin with. But it is so, like, everything here, everything he's doing is like when you see a child try to, draw or do something that adults do for the first time ever, and they obviously suck, but like you're grading on a curve because you're like, that's a child. That's how I feel. I'm like, wow, he's able to get off a joke. Like, it's just so ass, but you're like, wow, look at that. Grandpa's able to fucking talk. Okay.
I really feel great. I'm campaigning all over the country. Pennsylvania, Georgia, North Carolina. I've always done well in the original 13 colonies.
I gotta pee.
And speaking of history, did you hear what Donald just said about the major Civil War battle? Quote, Gettysburg, wow. Trump's speech was so embarrassing, the statue of Robert E. Lee surrendered again. But look, age is the only thing we have in common. My vice president actually endorses me. I had a great stretch since the State of the Union. Well, Donald has had a few tough days lately. You might call it stormy weather. What the hell? Trump's so desperate he started reading those Bibles he's selling. Then he got to the first commandment. You shall have no other gods before me. That's when he put it down and said, this book's not for me. Look, being here is a reminder that folks think what's going on in Congress is political theater. That's not true. If Congress were theater, they'd have thrown out Lauren Boebert a long time ago. Now, to all my friends in the press and Fox News, some of you complain that I don't take enough of your questions. No comment. Of course, the New York Times issued a statement blasting me for, quote, active and effectively avoiding independent journalists. Hey, if that's what it takes to get the New York Times to say I'm active and effective, I'm for it. It's okay. I have higher standards. I do interviews with strong, independent journalists who millions of people actually listen to, like Howard Stern. And I know you're looking around and saying, this guy's been doing this for 50 years. He's had his moment. Give him someone else a chance.
I feel like there's two different ways to analyze humor when it's the president trying to do a tight five. Like, and I'm going to be as deliberate in my language as possible here. When Obama made the I'm going to drone strike the Nick Jonas brothers or the Jonas brothers joke, that's a good joke. It's just really fucking gross coming from Obama because Barack Obama actually engaged in the extrajudicial killing of an American citizen, right? But it's still a well-delivered, good joke, right? For Joe Biden, a lot of his jokes are not even good, not even well-delivered, and it's also obviously gross because it's coming from Joe Biden. Does that make sense? Do you understand what I mean? Not to hype up like, Jon Favreau and Lovitz, but it is, they wrote a decent fucking tight five for Obama.
To say that, I say, Lauren, ignore the critics. Ignore the critics. Lauren's a great friend who's had 8 comedians play me over the years on Saturday Night Live. 8. And who the hell says I'm not a real job creator? Look, Lauren's had even more comedians and actors joke about me, like the funny guy in Weekend Update, Michael Che. He's hilarious. Scarlett Johansson, you did such an incredible job in your State of the Union rebuttal that you should be do Weekend Update. Clearly, you're the funny one in the family. Look, folks, on a serious note, in addition to marrying up, Colin and I have another thing in common. We both find strength in family. I got to spend some time with his family yesterday in the Oval Office. Colin's dad was a high school teacher in Staten Island, and his mom is an incredible woman, a family of firefighters, was chief medical officer in New York City Fire Department on 9/11. As a doctor, she rushed to ground zero, risking her own life, treating and saving fellow first responders.
9/11.
Rushing into danger for others is my definition.
Oh my God. Imagine if he made a 9/11 joke. That'd be so sick. I would, dude, if he turns around and makes a 9/11 related joke right now, it's going to shake my world. Okay. It is going to fundamentally alter the fabric of American society and everything I know about Joe Brandon.
Patriotism and heroism.
Oh no, it's just for an applause break. Never mind. That's not a joke. Never mind.
And so is what all of you do when you report truth over lies.
Oh God. Oh, you're so fucking lame. You suck, dude. You suck dick and balls and ass.
That's why I want to close the night with my genuine thanks to the free press. There are some who call you the enemy of the people. That's wrong and it's dangerous. You literally risk your lives doing your job. You do. Covering everything from natural disasters to pandemics to wars and so much more. And some of your colleagues have given their lives, and many have suffered grievous injuries.
Wait, is he talking about the Palestinians?
Have lost their freedom. Journalism is clearly not a crime, not here, not.
Wait, what the fuck? Wait. What the fuck? Bro's writing unlimited checks to fucking the most efficient journalism murder machine. There ain't no fucking way he's saying that at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, right? Like, he's like, yeah, I killed many of you by way of Israel. That's right. Many of your peers that you obviously don't give a fuck about. He's probably just talking about Ukraine, right? The only place where there is journalism happening. Palestine doesn't exist. Gaza doesn't exist.
Not there, not anywhere in the world. And Putin should release Evan and also immediately.
Yeah, it was Russia. Okay, got it. Only Russia's doing crimes against journalism. Only Russia. Israel, on the other hand, loves journalism so much, they're giving him hugs. Hundreds of them, as a matter of fact. Okay. Hi, baby. Hi, baby.
Yes, we're doing everything we can. We're doing everything we can to bring home journalists, fellow journalists, Austin, and all Americans like Paul Whelan, who wrongfully detained all around the world. And I give him orders to Biden. We're not going to give up until we get them home. All of them. All of them.
Wait, what?
On the 3rd anniversary of January 6th, I went.
Wait, Paul Whelan? Bro, Paul Whelan is not a journalist. Am I wrong? Yeah, Paul Whelan is not a journalist at all. Paul Whelan is 100% an agent that got. That's Mr. Passport Enthusiast himself. Paul Whelan, the journalist that was caught trying to literally, dude, listen. The rule of thumb is, the rule in the espionage world is, if you're an agent, okay, if you are State Department, if you're CIA, if you're KGB, if you're FSB, if you are whatever the Chinese version is, okay, and you get got, that's it. You got, okay? This doesn't mean that not Ukraine, sorry. This doesn't mean that Russia doesn't arrest journalists. They do. That the Evan dude is 100% a journalist, Wall Street Journal journalist that was arrested by the Russian government unjustifiably. He is a political pawn. It's completely ridiculous. Okay? Having said that, however, Paul Whelan absolutely firmly falls in the you got, you are a terrible fucking secret agent category. Multiple passports. He was arrested in the Moscow area by FSB, which later confirmed his arrest. Whelan's twin brother David said Whelan arrived in Moscow on December 22nd to attend the wedding of a former fellow Marine at Hotel Metropole Moscow to assist the groom's family members on their first visit to Russia, a country he had visited multiple times. He said his brother planned to return to Michigan. David said his brother entered Russia using his U.S. passport and had not been in contact with his family. He literally, BBC cited family members who bragged about knowing an agent of the FSB and was privy to an unusual cache of personal details about his friend, including which intelligence training schools he attended. Whelan said the man was one of his oldest friends in Russia and that he had visited the man's house in winter before the arrest. He loaned his friend 80,000 Russian rubles. Okay. Whelan, his longtime friend, framed him by appearing unexpectedly in the hotel, followed by authorities who later arrested him. I love the way that they're covering the story. Okay. I love the way that they're covering the story. He got caught with secret material that he literally bought for 80,000 Russian rubles and like 8 different fucking passports, bro. That's insane. Like, he was just hey, listen, you guys don't understand. Paul Whelan, he's just a passport enthusiast who had, all of these, all of this intelligence in a fucking USB drive as a passport enthusiast with many different passports. He just, that was a special interest. Is like sensitive intelligence materials. You know what I mean? It's just like, I think you guys are fucked up. Why are you against American journalists? Don't you think journalism is important? Yes, I do. I do think it's important. I think it was more than 80,000 Russian rubles, or 80,000. Source claims $80,000 in cash as opposed to 80,000 Russian rubles, worth $1,000 US, temporarily confiscated during customs inspection. According to Whelan's brother David, this report of MBK is a defamatory lie. Whelan was formally charged on January 3rd, 2019, according to Russian news agency Rosby. By the way, there's no time where this motherfucker ever even did journalism. So I don't know why the fuck Joe Biden is calling him a journalist here. Like, it's not like there's any journalism that he has ever done.
Went to Valley Forge, and I said the most urgent question of our time is whether democracy is still the sacred cause of America. That is the question the American people must answer this year. And you, the press, play a critical role in making sure the American people have the information they need to make an informed decision. A defeated former president has made no secret of his attack on our democracy. He said he wants to be a dictator on day one, and so much more. He tells supporters he is their revenge and retribution. When in God's name have you heard of another president say something like that? And he promised a bloodbath when he...
Bro, this is not even funny now. He's just complaining about Donald Trump.
Loses again. We have to take this seriously. 8 years ago, you could have written off it as just Trump talk, but no longer, not after January 6th. I'm sincerely not asking of you to take sides, but asking you to rise up to the seriousness of the moment. move past the horse race numbers and the gotcha moments and the distractions, the sideshows that have come to dominate and sensationalize our politics, and focus on what's actually at stake. And I think in your hearts you know what's at stake. The stakes couldn't be higher. Every single one of us has roles to play, a serious role to play, in making sure democracy endures, American democracy. I have my role, but with all due respect, so do you. In the age of disinformation, credible information that people can trust is more important than ever. And that makes you, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, makes you more important than ever. So tonight, I'd like to make a toast to a free press, to an informed citizenry, to an America where freedom and democracy endure. God bless America.
Is it normal for the Correspondents Dinner in an election year to be so focused on the president's opponent? Yes. But I don't really care about the civility and the aesthetics of that front as much as I care about the fact that, you know, journalists have been ruthlessly slaughtered. Journalists have been ruthlessly fucking slaughtered with the weapons that we've sent over to Israel. And the press is completely suppressing the truth and has for a very long time until it became impossible to avoid, harder than the top of the hour, because you can avoid the top of the hour ad break. Obviously, it's 3 minutes long, but you can avoid it by subscribing for $5 or for free. But the media cannot avoid lying about what the fuck is going on in Gaza. Here's the 3-minute ad break right now, by the way.
I'm going to turn it over to Kelly. Then you'll hear from a real comedian. I think I know what I'm in for. You know, Colin Jost has taken aim at me before with his jokes.
Oh, I'm sure. You ready?
Like saying, after winning the South Carolina primary, Biden barely edged out his closest rival. Time. Colin, when I win, I'm going to have a whole hell of a lot of time.
Thank you, everyone. Hello. That was hard-hitting journalism you saw in The Owl.
I don't even know if I want to watch this shit, dude. It's like the worst of the worst. You know what I mean? Trump on the dinner. The White House Correspondents' Dinner was really bad. Colin Jost bombed. And Crooked Joe was an absolute disaster. Doesn't get much worse than this.
Before I begin tonight,
Let's see what the banger liberal tweet was from Brian Carniello Joes. Can we just acknowledge how refreshing it is to see a president at an event that doesn't begin with a bailiff saying all rise?
we just acknowledge how refreshing it is to see a president of the United States at an event that doesn't begin with a bailiff saying all rise.
This guy has sex with Scarlett Johansson. Just saying. You know, something you should consider.
And I would like to point out, it's after 10 p.m. Sleepy Joe is still awake, while Donald Trump has spent the past week falling asleep in court every morning.
Oh, God. Oh.
Though Fox News said he was just being anti-woke.
Oh, God. Y'all really want me to watch this whole fucking speech? I will lose it. I will lose my goddamn mind. I will die if I watch this. She stepped down from Oxfam because they asked her not to be a spokesperson for SodaStream. That's so funny. It's like the most mid... God, I love... Israeli inventions are phenomenal. You got Waze, SodaStream, the worst techno music you've ever heard. The only good Israeli invention is oftentimes in the field of surveillance technology, which is objectively bad for most people. Oh, I love the fact that she had to step down from being an Oxfam spokesperson because she was like, no, I have to literally keep pumping SodaStream. Like, I have to. You don't understand. This is very important to me. Silence at Correspondents dinner.
By the way, the TikTok
The painful silence when people in your audience are the crooks taking away America's freedom of speech.
could be outlawed in the U.S. by the end of this year. Isn't it crazy, by the way, that TikTok could be outlawed in the U.S. by the end of this year? That's a real shame, because we're going to need TikTok to document who is storming the Capitol next January 6th.
Oh my God. My partner just heard you say Waze is Israeli and yelled no. It's owned by Google now, but obviously Google has no issue funding and facilitating the genocide as well. So, you know, you missed this quote. Did you watch the new Boy vid by any chance? No. We watched the full Brandon speech. Hassan is a buy. We did. What is this? POV, I'm getting married, but Hasanabi sitting on the front row.
Do you love her? Yes. Are you willing to do whatever it takes to stay with her? No. Do you love her? Yes.
Bro, the new Boy video is dope. Those guys are amazing. Okay. I guess uncancelable Norman Finkelstein speaks at Emory. They actually canceled Norm's speech. Is that what happened? That's what I heard. But anyway. Okay, let's watch some fun shit. Did you watch this King Baldwin edit of your uncensored?
How dare you say it's okay to talk about an intifada?
Well, intifada simply just means revolution, and I'm an American, and in 1776,
Violent
we did
revolution.
one of those, and it was pretty fucking good. What do you think, the American?
Okay, we also
dissolved the apartheid.
I could drop ties in this bitch, drop like flies in this bitch. I cut ties in this bitch, I'll cut ties in your face. Yeah, cut you like that.
What the fuck? Damn, that it actually makes you look cool. Let's go. I see a good edit. I like it. That's how it works. Boy is always fun. Yeah, I went through this because I thought this was the one I appeared in, but I don't think it's the one I appeared in.
This is our mate, David McBride. Now, it might look like he's having fun, but sadly, this is our last shower together as best friends, because David here is going to prison for life. He's what you'd call a whistleblower.
I like his new haircut. He looks handsome.
You all know what a whistle sounds like. Now, he's a soldier who served in Afghanistan who realised that Aussie soldiers were committing some of the most heinous war crimes imaginable, and his superiors were covering it up. So he told the public about it. And thanks to David's bravery, nothing happened. Nothing. All the war criminals and generals are free, all the politicians are free. David's the one that's going to jail for the crime of telling us about it.
So, how long are you going to jail?
It's a good icebreaker. Yeah, well, I don't know. It could be the rest of my life. So that brings things into a sharp focus, because you kind of think this could be the last time I go to Bondi Beach, last time I watch a movie, last time I play PlayStation. You want to come up? If I go inside, I want to.
Oh yeah, I saw this. I saw Mr. Mauld. It sucks that pay part of their college tuition sounds like one of the most empty statements ever. Did he make $50,000 or $20,000? I paid off my student loans with the earnings from my Hassan the Hun Clips channel. Stay mad. Dude, they're literally getting mad at people making... Dude. I love when... And it's not even one guy. There's like many others, right? And they're so fucking butthurt. Thanks for posting my W, Mr. Divorcelli. Can you give a dollar amount? It's like, bro, I didn't find him. He found me. He came up to me and said, oh, I paid off my fucking tuition with the earnings that I got. That's so fucking funny, dude. That's so funny. Ask how much his child support you help him pay. Dude, I pay all of it. I personally paid all of the fucking child support with like every fucking fuck Hassan clip that he's made on his channel. I'm over here paying for 2 divorces, dude. D fans realizing no one wants to watch this shit ad nauseum, not even his own fans. No, his own fans love that shit. I mean, they watch me more than they watch him probably, but you know. Yes, you wasted your time in school to have 2 pieces of paper you don't do anything with, suckle off a man child, but we are quite upset. 2, who's the second one? Daily Dose of Hasanabi. Well, considering that Divorcelli is a prominent figure in the fucking Hasanabi Clips industrial complex, because he posts footage from this stream almost as much as my fans do, it's very odd for a man whose child support I've been paying to be confused about this process. You know what I mean? He knows better than anybody else. Look at Grafton's bio. This guy, professional Pokemon player. Oh, that's cute. I met a dude yesterday who asked if I like D, saying he has good points. Showed him that actually it's a phebophilia clip, and I've never seen a more grossed out face. Yep. True whistleblower story. Okay, let's keep going.
I try to get him be my cellmate.
Well, you got to get him to whistleblow.
The drug dogs. You can whistleblow the drug dogs.
False positives. On purpose.
You could infiltrate the drug dogs.
Now, to understand how David got into this position, we've got to understand what brought him to Afghanistan and what brought anyone to Afghanistan. And to do that, we need to go back to the 70s when Afghanistan was really cool. The only issue with Afghanistan was that it was a socialist country aligned with the Soviet Union, so the CIA took it upon themselves to turn the country upside down. They launched Operation Cyclone, the largest covert operation in CIA history. It pretty much involved flooding every right-wing Islamic extremist in the country with money and weapons. Literally, if you were a murderous incel in Afghanistan in the 70s, the CIA was there to make you a millionaire. Like Gulbuddin Hekmatyar, for example. Now, this guy's a real piece of shit. He failed his engineering degree, so when he saw smart women who thrived at university, he threw acid in their faces. But thanks to CIA funding and training, this guy hit the jackpot and became one of the leaders of the Mujahideen, fighting a holy war against the Afghani government and later against the Soviets too. Now, I can't stress how massive this secret operation was. They were spending $630 million a year on the Mujahideen. At one point, the CIA...
The only thing I will add on to this is that, like, to be fair, the Afghan government definitely was fucking up, okay? The socialist USSR-aligned Afghan government was fucking up so much that even the USSR was like, we got to get these motherfuckers out of here. They're out of control. It wasn't just like regular old USSR style suppression of religion. It was way beyond. It was beyond the pale. I mean, they definitely were not doing a good job. They are right. You are a lib. Come on, man. Get the fuck out of here, dude. They were just murking dudes in fucking monster shit. Get the fuck out of here.
They got the University of Nebraska to print these like educational children's books
This
that
part
they
is
like
true,
spread
though.
all over Afghanistan. Taught you all sorts of useful stuff like how to behead infidels or how to count to 10 in the most fucked
Yeah, they were so bad. Other Afghan communist forces opposed them and even took part in the fight against them. They were not good.
way possible. And the CIA won. For a period, the Soviets intervened to prop up their ally, but that eventually bankrupted them and they withdrew, and a few years later, the Afghani government fell to the Mujahideen. Women could no longer go to school. The country descended into a 20-year civil war to decide which group of CIA-funded right-wing fundamentalist arseholes would run the country. You had the hot one, or the incel guy, or this guy with one eye. So it turns out the one-eyed guy won. Yeah, nice. And his Taliban took over all of Afghanistan. Now, the US was happy whining and dining these guys for decades until a bunch of Saudis flew some planes into the World Trade Center. Suddenly, the US started questioning their love for right-wing Islamic extremists, and they wanted revenge. Not against Saudi Arabia, they're the US's allies. No one's touching them, obviously. They went after Afghanistan because that's where Osama bin Laden was hiding. Now, the Taliban had been trying to get rid of bin Laden for years before September 11, and when they heard the Americans were going to invade...
Yep. They did. Okay, this is good so far.
Like,
very good.
Fuck. Okay, we'll give Osama bin Laden up to the International Criminal Court. Just don't invade us. But as you know, the Americans invaded anyway and started the longest war
We don't negotiate with terrorists, remember?
In American history. 20 years and hundreds of thousands of dead bodies.
Abandon?
So why did they do this? Well, maybe it's so they could have bases bordering Iran, China, and Russia, or maybe it was just to launder money for the military-industrial complex. Who knows? Now, David suggests that the main factor is actually this perverse marketing exercise where America had to, show that they could punish anyone for September 11, and the more kills they get, the more votes they get.
Everything was done in order to impress the domestic media. They did focus groups of sort of redneck, and they couldn't really understand who the Taliban were. And they wanted to fight a country. Let's fucking smash it up.
Oh, you guys want to know what a funny story this is? You said ruined our airports and security theater. Funny, we did that to ourselves. So the Australian government, this is something that an Australian Uber driver told me. So I don't know how fucking valid this is. But apparently the Australian government, in solidarity in the aftermath of 9/11, actually implemented the same exact fucking security theater that the TSA was implementing, because in his words, he's in Australia, he said, we want the Americans to come to our country and we want them to feel safe. We want them to feel the same safety that they feel in America. So we are going to cuck ourselves in solidarity and implement the same security protocols, the same security theater. That's fucked. Also, hi mom, I'm on a Hasanabi stream. Why are you talking to a taxi driver about 9/11? I forget why we were having that conversation.
They probably would have had a better result if they...
Not true. Australia doesn't have TSA like security theater on domestic flights. You can go through the gate as a non-passenger. First of all, you're talking to someone who literally did go through a TSA-like security theater now, but for a domestic flight between Sydney and Melbourne, not that long ago, mate. However, what I'm talking about is about international travel, where they did implement the TSA-style security theater in Australia in the aftermath of 9/11. So you're wrong on both accounts, mate. I was in fucking Australia not that long ago, mate.
They negotiated with the Taliban and got Osama bin Laden handed over.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't have won votes for the rednecks.
Did you have these thoughts before you joined the Defence Force?
No, I didn't. I was definitely a true believer in the West and democracy.
So David actually thought he was sacrificing his life to fight terrorists. And this wasn't his first time. He's been a decorated soldier for a while. But this time was different. He decided to use his law degree in what he thought was a fight for democracy. He enlisted as a military lawyer for the Australian Special Forces, the SAS. His job was to make sure his soldiers were following the rule of law.
When they're dropping bombs on people, you've got to make sure that the boxes are ticked. And it might be an in-house lawyer in a company that kills people, I guess. But
Now, the army gave David's family a gift, right? And it's the gift of a brand new dad with PTSD. But aside from that, what David got from those 2 tours of Afghanistan eventually radicalized him as well.
The analogy I normally used was, it's a bit like being married to a serial killer who you really love. Yeah. And when they come home, the first time they come home with blood on their shoes, and they say, oh, I broke my nose at work. You're like, oh, okay. Second or third time, and there's piles appearing in the garden. And it's not till you have something concrete to say they're meant to be in Cincinnati and you knew that they were in New York when the murder occurred, that you suddenly, all those other things fit together.
Now, over time, little by little, all these dodgy reports kept piling up on David's desk, and they looked like pretty heinous war crimes, but his superiors kept ignoring them.
I saw a lot of suspicious reports. The military investigator signed off on it and said, no problem, nothing to see here now.
But there were some really horrific things in there that David couldn't ignore, like the exploits of Australia's most decorated soldier, Ben Roberts-Smith.
Back in 2006, in Ben Roberts-Smith's sort of first major medal, he'd shot like a 10-year-old boy unarmed, and other SAS people said, what the fuck are you doing? And they were meant to be hidden away in a silent, unseen overwatch. And he gave his position away by killing this guy that the other SAS soldiers said was just a shepherd boy minding his own business. And then other people came out, probably villagers of the town, and they shot all them as well. And he got a medal for it. And when the Defence Force gave him a medal, they said they turned the one shepherd boy into a Taliban militia force trying to outflank the SAS position. Now, that Ben Robert Smith didn't write that. You know, the Defence Department wrote that.
Right, to cover
because to make him the hero, because they wanted to sell the war. Good-looking guy. He was good in a press conference.
Now, to properly understand why these cover-ups were happening, we've got to understand what was going on the ground in Afghanistan when David joined in 2012. Osama bin Laden was dead, and so was their whole reason for being in Afghanistan, right? The army had no strategic goal, and everything they tried to do seemed impossible. Like, every person they killed was replaced by 3 more Afghanis who were rightfully furious that this foreign invader murdered their family. And if you weren't joining the Taliban resistance, you were at the mercy of the local warlords we put in power, who were pretty much similar to the Taliban, except they had the added bonus of also being pedophiles. But they were on our side, so, you know, who cares, right? The important thing is the military knew the war was unwinnable.
I knew something was up when we kept on saying, we'll win the war next year. But we said that the year before. And they were saying that because that's what the politicians wanted to hear. They wanted to hear, and everyone got promoted, and you put up PowerPoints saying, you know, we're just on the cusp of victory. They had a plan, but it wasn't really to win the war. It was to win the.
By the way, for those of you who don't know, when he's talking about a guy who ticks off war crimes, who like checks a box to say that these war crimes are actually good, that was literally Ron DeSantis's job in the Navy. That is precisely what he did. That is literally what Meatball Ron did.
2004 presidential election, you know, drop bombs on people in turbans, get kill counts, and make it look like this is how we treat America's enemies. Nobody lost an election by sending more troops.
I'm announcing today additional American troop deployments to Afghanistan.
It is in our vital national interest to send an additional 30,000 U.S. troops to Afghanistan.
This was
the surge, baby.
Driven by market,
surge.
A never-ending string of random fabricated victories, enemy deaths that we were led to believe would bring us closer to some undefined goal, but everyone in power knew nothing would ever be achieved. The war was unwinnable. But this had effects on the ground. Like, once they realized that the war was all about marketing and every mistake, no matter how horrendous, would become a victory, the military establishment realized that anything goes.
We just thought the law was a joke. We had become a sort of a lawless organisation where anything went. Whatever the PR people wanted for the day was what happened.
Now, there was one law we never broke, though. And it's the law that says Uncle Sam is always right. You see, to understand Australia's role in the war in Afghanistan, you have to understand that September 11th didn't happen in Sydney. Well, I mean, it did happen. It happened right after the 10th, but it was just another day here, right? We were only in Afghanistan because we like to follow the Americans when they invade other countries.
The Chief of the Defence Force even said it. We are only in Afghanistan to make the Americans happy. Anything the Americans wanted us to do, we did. With an almost shameless excitement, without really thinking about whether we could do it.
As you might know from our Pine Gap video, we once had a leader that stood up to the Americans, and the Americans removed him from power. Since then, every Aussie government has tried their best to prove that they're a trustworthy lackey in America's empire, and Afghanistan was our time to shine. Now, the Americans had a problem, right? They needed higher kill counts for their domestic audience, but their special forces were already under a bit of scrutiny for war crimes. But their little Aussie lapdogs were much less relevant. No one cares what we get up to in Afghanistan. And even if they did catch us talking about our heinous war crimes, no one could really understand our stupid accents anyway. So the Americans delegated their dodgiest killings to us through something called JPEL, Joint Priority Effects List. Now, this list was full of kill capture targets, but we decided to read them just as kill targets because it's much, much easier than capturing someone. And sometimes you've got to kill a bunch of extra people on top of that because, you know, you're bored. Now, the Aussies got so good at these missions that we took over the territory given to the Dutch and the British and the Canadian forces, who were hesitant to do the things that needed to be done because it would be politically damaging if their people found out what they were doing. But we didn't give a shit. We just wanted to impress the Americans, so we became their most loyal executioners. But unfortunately, we were a bit too good at doing the US's dirty work, right? The rumors of war crimes started circulating and the military establishment was freaking out.
They did know about Robert Smith. The complaints finally got through, and they said, fuck, this is an issue. We can't have our fucking star player go down. Not only they cared so much about him, but all the people that have been shaking his hand and the Governor General pinning medals on him, and It's going to be huge.
Suddenly, the government needed to reverse course and start covering their tracks.
A kind of warning was put out to all the troops saying, basically don't murder people. And when I said, what's that about?
So the government was suddenly like really serious about war crimes, but obviously they're not going to go after the decorated war criminals whose crimes they spent a decade covering up. No, what they needed was a sacrificial lamb. A fresh, brand new soldier that could be made an example of to show that the Australian leadership cares about war crimes. And it was David's job to prosecute him.
What they tried to do is get scapegoats in order to make sure that no one looked too closely at him. I wasn't prepared to let a soldier get sacrificed, thrown under a bus, just because what the minister needed was a bad guy. They've got drone footage of all this. Yeah, and if they wanted to actually put people on trial, they'd use the drone footage. And they don't want to use the drone footage because the drone footage, A, the Americans don't want them to, but secondly, that shows that they must have known at the time.
Yeah. After all this time chasing up war crimes reports only to get constantly pushed back by his superiors, now they suddenly wanted him to punish a man he thought was innocent. And this was the final straw. David decided to start photocopying all the dodgy reports, all the proof of war crimes he could get a hold of, and all the evidence of this big cover-up, and leak it to a journalist at the prestigious state broadcaster, a guy called Dan Oakes from the ABC. Now, David was risking his life leaking this, and what the ABC ended up doing with it was unfortunate, right? Like, instead of a story of like corruption at the highest levels of government, they turned it into like a cultural issue. A story about how a group of bad boy soldiers had become desensitized and hyped each other up to murder innocent people.
They basically painted it as bad soldiers, but they don't really ever point the finger at the leadership to say he didn't really do this on his own, in the sense that they promoted him, they never really looked into it, there were complaints. If a general either knew or should have known, they're liable too, but they've managed to forget all about that.
Now, that's the difference between someone who is fully captured by its own state and is doing propaganda for its own state versus someone like, and I hate to bring his name up now because he sucks ass now, Glenn Greenwald. When you get stories like this, you either capture and kill or capture and basically like shift the attention away. Or you take a story like this and you do decent journalism. Doing real journalism on a story like this requires bravery and requires you to basically give up on potentially having dreams of a higher position of power in media. But sometimes that can cause a lot of resentment in your eyes, especially when you see the way that the American media is glazed up as though they are doing heroic jobs in the Trump era. All the while you've been completely fucking, you've become a pariah basically. And then you end up listening to the Red Scare podcast too much and you become this weird fucking right-wing delusional weirdo. Even though Glenn is, I suspect, probably pretty decent on the issue of Palestine, because he has consistently been. Don't ask him about contemporary American politics. But this does not, of course, take away from all the good work that he did do.
The soldiers committing these crimes were psychopaths, right? The ABC's not wrong, but they completely ignored David's documents about all the powerful people who enabled it and covered it up. It's letting the leadership off the hook, right? And either way, there's no like legal or ethical way to invade and terrorize an innocent country. Like what we did to the people of Afghanistan is a senseless crime in itself, and no one was prosecuted for it.
There's far too much emphasis on war crime, you know. It's 200,000 Afghan dead and then giving the place back to Taliban. I mean, no one's lost their job over that. Why
that's not considered a war crime.
The biggest crimes were committed by the leaders.
Yeah. But unfortunately, the ABC went for the path of least resistance, right? They published a war crime story, which felt like a victory for the anti-war left, but they also exonerated all the leaders, which, you know, should have been a victory for the government. But the government didn't care how lightly the ABC tread, right? They collaborated with a whistleblower and they needed to be punished. So the government did what any democracy does in this situation.
And there's a raid happening right here at the ABC right now, just 100 metres or so that way.
They sent in the federal police to raid the national broadcaster and all these journalists' homes, and everyone was terrified. Once the federal agents walked out of the building, even the news reporter who was meant to be covering it sounded like a 12-year-old trying to make small talk with his girlfriend's dad.
Was there anything wrong there?
Now, David was hiding in Spain long before the ABC published their story. He's on the run from the most powerful people in the world, and he's obviously scared. But David told us that the most painful part about being a whistleblower is knowing you have to leave your loved ones behind. He had to watch his daughters grow up from the other side of the world. Eventually, he gave up on hiding, and he did something I've only ever seen someone do in an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. He flew back to Australia, risked life imprisonment by a corrupt government just so he could spend one night at a daddy-daughter dance.
She kept saying there's a father-daughter dance later in the year, and I'd be like, if I come home I'll get arrested, and if I get arrested I'll probably be in jail a long time. She just said, I want you to come back for the dance. and I could tell when I spoke to her, I could tell it was just silent. And I could just tell she was silently crying on the end of the phone, and I was like, oh, no father can handle it.
So, David came back to Australia.
You never really knew.
I didn't know that was the reason why he came back. That's so sad. What a fucking gross injustice, dude.
Now, this moment didn't last very long. David was arrested and put on trial for leaking classified information. But it wasn't a normal trial where, you can defend yourself, right? It was the other kind of trial where the judge turns to you and says, sorry, mate, the Americans said the evidence you're using for your defense isn't actually allowed for national security reasons. So we've decided you have to defend yourself with zero evidence.
The government was given authority to bundle up evidence and run out the back door with it. Makes it impossible for us realistically to go to trial.
I'm not giving up hope. He's done the right thing. I've said that from the beginning. Truth and justice will prevail, and I'm incredibly proud of him, as are his two girls.
So yeah, obviously since he can't defend himself, he's going to jail, which sets an insane precedent here in Australia. Like it's the death of whistleblower laws, right? This ruling means that if you have information that your boss is committing a crime and you leak that information, then you're the criminal.
The judge ruled to say there are no exceptions. If you're in the military and the orders are don't release information, it doesn't matter whether the chief of the Defence Force is selling secrets to our enemies or a pedophile ring or war crimes. We didn't even get to the facts. He just said there are no exceptions.
Now, all this time, the ABC was scared silent. They never once mentioned David McBride since they got raided back in 2019, and David's legal team started to get a bit suspicious. When they asked the ABC for evidence to help his case, they refused to cooperate, which was confusing. But suddenly, it all made sense, right? A few weeks before he's sentenced to, prison, the ABC finally pipes up to release a hit piece on him. Australia's premier journalism program, Four Corners, was faced with this bombshell story of government cover-ups, war crimes, and the brutal erosion of our democratic freedoms. But instead, they decided to run this documentary suggesting that David McBride isn't a real whistleblower and he doesn't deserve your attention. They made absurd claims that he actually wanted to cover up war crimes himself, and he somehow leaked all these incriminating documents by accident. They pointed at the fact that, among all the evidence of war crimes that he gave them, there was that one soldier that he thought was improperly prosecuted and used as a smokescreen. And David wanted to protect this guy. And this was enough for the ABC to smear him and turn his whole story into like the only whistleblower in the world who leaked war crimes because he really wanted to.
Australia is really as corrupt as the US. It's even worse. It's worse because they're corrupt because they're cucked. Like, think about that. You are prosecuting and arresting your own fucking veteran who did a phenomenally brave act specifically because America said so. It's so bad. It really isn't. It doesn't get worse in the US. I mean, yeah, of course it doesn't get worse than the US. It's just that it makes it even worse because, it makes it even worse in the eyes of Australians. It should, because they're doing it specifically for motherfucking American interests.
Damn, this guy's good.